Hello again, everyone. I had a fancy for a little more colouring today, and this is another one of the penguins from my one of my many Gummiapan Mystery Bags. And I saw him looking like this with his wing, just, looking over his eyes, and I thought, oh, he's got a candy cane. He must be looking for Christmas. So my sentiment that I've just done on the computer is Christmas is coming. He can see it, so it's bound to be true. I am so silly, but it just appealed to me. I thought it was funny. So my plan is to have, this is a 5x5 card. I've cut a panel for the front. I've got, this is one of my Presscut dies, just to cut an aperture, because I want this chap behind the aperture. And I thought I'd just emboss a little bit of the background stuff with some snow embossing folder. Have him standing, well, he'll be, I don't know how you can see, in there. I would have, these are all Gummiapan, a couple of Christmas trees kind of just, in front of the aperture. He's going to be in the aperture, and the Christmas is coming is kind of going to go somewhere like that. That's the plan, but you know what happens to my plans. They don't always work out as the original thought. So we will just see how we go. First thing, I'm going to stick this onto my block. Just use a little sliver of glue stick, because these red rubber stamps have got no backing, no self-cling backing, so you just need to get them onto your block or into your stamping platform somehow or other. So I think, yeah, I can use a bit of this to stamp on. Shall I emboss it? I think perhaps I will. I think I'll just emboss the stamping. So I've got some Clair embossing powder there. So as soon as I've stamped it, I don't need to bother with Versamark. If you're using a stamping platform, you can stamp it with your black ink, stamp it again with the Versamark, and then emboss it. But, this will be damp enough for me to get some of that to cling to it, enough to emboss it anyway. So let us... He's cute. So cute. Right, let's stamp him on here. Oh, lovely. Drop of embossing powder, and I've lost my Christmas trees in there. We'll fish those out in a moment. I'll just give this a quick whiz. There we go. Let me just fish these two trees out of here. 1 and 2. I'm going to put this away. Right. I'm not quite sure whether I want to colour the trees or leave them white, but I'll leave them white for the minute, and we'll kind of see how we go. So let's colour in this little chap. Let's have... I'm getting some new markers soon, so this is going to be interesting. Black smoke and ancient fossil, I think. Let's just try. We'll have some feather grey for the tummy. We need some red for the candy cane. Don't know which of those to use. I used some vanilla, sweet vanilla, whatever it was, just for eyes. I don't know what that is really. Is that lower eyelids? Not quite sure about that. And we need something for the feet and the beak. I keep wanting to call it a nose. Spiced orange. Wonderful. Makes you think of Christmas, doesn't it? Spiced orange and tiger lily. Okay, there's a bunch of colours. Right, let's start with this tummy. We'll do the feather grey and just add a little bit of shading around the edges. I like to make the edges not too straight so that when they're blended, you don't see a a definite line. There we go. Maybe a bit more around here. Right. If you're doing a pale colour and you don't have the next shade darker to tone it down or to give it a bit of shadow, you can always do a very pale grey to start with and then put your colour over the top. And where the grey is, it'll be slightly darker, and where there is no grey beneath, you get a lighter colour. So that is quite a good ploy sometimes. So if you haven't ever tried that, give it a go. It's my thing anyway, is to say just give it a go. People say, can you do this? Can you do that? There's no harm in trying. You may surprise yourself. As I said, this looks all sort of kind of grey, but it does dry and it doesn't look quite so grey. Okay, now let's do his eyes. I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of this just at the bottom, and just to make them look sort of more rounded, really. Just like that. I think the bit under his eyes are going to be slightly darker than this, aren't they? You can always do it more times to make it a bit darker, but don't have a darker one. The new set I've got coming has got hundreds of colours, so it'll be interesting to see. But sometimes keeping it simple is the easiest thing. Right, let's go with black smoke. Right, a bit of black smoke. Around there. To here. This is what I mean about jaggedy edges. You could always put a bit of highlighting on with a gel pen if you still don't think you've got enough highlighting. It's fun though. Let's try the lighter colour. Ancient Fossil I've got. Just want to make sure it's okay. It's a bit light, we'll see. Go over the other colour as well. This one has got a brownish tinge to it. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't know if I like this mixture. We'll see. We'll see. I can't find my colour chart for these. I'm going to have to make a new one. The one that I had is the one that came in the packet, and it isn't how I would arrange it anyway, because I rearranged all the colours from the 3 boxes. Rearranged the lot. He's quite brown, isn't he? Don't know if I like the brownness thereof. Dark slate. Let's try dark slate. This might be a better one. Yeah, I think it is. Because I've arranged them in, I've got them in a rack now, not in the boxes. So they're in different places and I don't know where to look. Story of my life. Tidy up and can't find anything. That's a bit better. Okay, let's do his feet. And his beak. Just adds a little bit of colour. I don't know if it's the right colour, but who knows? I believe some penguins have orange feet. Now for his candy cane. Now looking at this, whenever I've got something really fine to colour like that, and I want to do, for example, something deep and something light, I will look in the sections and see which are the bigger sections, and the bigger ones I will do with a darker colour. It gives me more chance to stay inside the lines. So I think we're going to have this one here and that one there and this one here. And now looking at this, it's going to look better if there's more red. So put a dot there and a dot there. They are very, very small. Now this is exactly what I was talking about when I was saying about putting some shadow on first. I should have done it. I should have put a bit of grey around that, but if I try and do that now, I'll probably drag a bit of the red around, so I'm not going to bother. But if I'd put the grey on first, I could have had my shading around that candy cane. The white would have been fine, and the red would have been slightly darker where the shading was. So there you go. You can't win them all, can you? Okay, let me just cut this out. Here's my die. I'll get a bit of low-tack tape and see if we can get him placed accurately. So many places to look to try and make sure it's evenly arranged all the way around the die cut. Let's see. Okay. Right. I've been doing a series of shorts on die cutting hints and tips, and some people have found them quite useful, I think. Okay, so he's going to go in there. We're going to have the trees kind of I may leave them white. I will see. Let me cut this aperture out. Okay, let's have it about there, I think. I've got to have enough. Just show you what I'm thinking. Show you what I'm thinking. Tell you what I'm thinking. I want to be sufficient space for this to go here. I don't mind if it slightly overlaps the aperture, but I just want the proportions to look kind of reasonable. Okay, about there. I think it's got to be, I normally like to have the same distance from there as here, but because of that, I've got to move it northwards a little bit. So we'll just see how we go. Right, that is going to go like that. These little marks come off your cutting plates sometimes, you know, a bit of paper, a bit of paper detritus or whatever. So I fancy, is that big enough to go in there? Not quite. I've got a bit here. I'm just going to emboss a little bit with snow to go behind. So that I want to go like this. He in there. These kind of on the side. I don't know which way around. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, really. I have got some larger ones, but I'm not sure. I think that might be all right. Christmas is coming, bless him. Now, what am I going to cut that out with? This one fits perfectly, so let's have this one. Right. Right. Okay. I just wonder if I need a bigger tree. That looks a bit silly. Let me see about a bigger tree. Bigger tree. Right, let's see. Where are my trees? I got my Christmas on one page. Not on that one. Not on that one. Here we are. It's another couple. That one's miles too big. Have I got any? Oh, there's a curly tree. Let me just see what that one's like. Anything else? Anything else? I don't think so. Okay. Let's look at these. What to do about this? No, that's no good. Put that up there. I'll cut one of these and see what I think. Oops. Just put it on my magnetic sheet at the back. Right, let's just cut one of these trees. That one's too big. I think I could do that. Yep. Right. I think we'll get it assembled. Taken a lot of time messing back. I'm going to keep that white, keep this white, make it a bit more robust. So we'll have a double layer. I think I'll give him another one as well, just to make him stand out a little bit. Just cut him out of the bit that was out of the aperture. Okay. There we go. Okay, now we could do the old bending the foam tape round the corner idea, couldn't we? Where's my die? Just to get an idea of how much we need. About here. Okay. Now somebody had a really good notion for this, and I thought I'd like to pass it on. Here I've got some of the labels from that I put on the back of my cards, but it's on a non-stick backing. So if I put this onto that non-stick backing, I'll just take this bit of paper off the corner. I don't want it to stick to that. Okay, let's get this off. This is just ones that we used. I was putting some in the box for my choir last night. So what I'm going to do is to cut into this piece of tape so that I can make it go around here. And last time I did it, I was getting really quite sticky, but somebody said to me, if you put it onto a non-stick something or other, maybe some of this tape that I've saved, backing tape, and just put it over, well, I thought to myself, if I use one of these sheets that are used up, it would be a good idea. So I'll just use this bit here. A little bit that goes over the end, I'll just cut as is. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting just over halfway into the piece of tape, so that, as in sewing, you can bend a straight piece around a curve. So this is the wrong side. Here we are. This is the narrowest bit, so I'll start with that and make sure I can do it. And I'm just going to, I hope you can see, take this around this circle, because the snips are just allowing that tape to open up. It's like those skaters, do you remember those skaters going round on ice, and they'd make like a star thing, and the ones in the middle would just be going up and down like this, and the ones on the outside would be going round like mad things. Such good fun. I'm very old, I remember all these things. All right, let's just do a little bit because I didn't have quite enough. I'm not going to bother with a piece of non-stick for this. Okay, just pop it in there. Okay, just use this anyway, really. Just finish off the rest of it. Now, what I need to do is to put my piece of embossing behind there. So we'll take off all these bits. Oh, before I do that, I want to get the tree in. Yes, just think what you're doing, Christine. Just pay attention. Right, because I want the tree partly behind and partly in front of this aperture. So we're going to have to, here we go. I want the tree with that bit like that and a little bit behind. So it's like this, do you see? So if I didn't put that in first, I wouldn't have been able to get the trunk of the tree in. Okay, now we'll put this behind. There we go. I'm going to have to put a little piece of foam tape just behind that tree. Just a tiddly bit. I've got a narrower piece somewhere. Here we go. Let's just put a narrow bit in. Would have been better if I'd done that first, wouldn't it? Just going to put a touch of glue on the tip of the tree. There we go. There. That's that one. Now we've got to get him in there. Just about there, I would say, and he can go flat. I've got a bit of my background showing there. Just cut that off. That's fine. Right, let's put, do we want him standing? Yeah, I'll put some foam tape on him, I think. Let's put some foam tape on him. He really will stand out then. Christmas is coming. You can see it. He's having a good look. Oh dear. Right, we're nearly there. And my Christmas is coming is here. I'll put that flat because I don't want it to get too thick. Okay. Right. Now I just need to put some glue on there and take off those. Not glue, I'm going to use my runner, my tape running adhesive, so let's do that first. Okay. Very soon, Deb Hallett and myself, we're going to do another collaboration with some Gummiapan products. And this time we have decided to do at least one set of dies the same, just to see what, you know, the two of us, how our interpretations differ. So if you would like to, we're planning on getting together again, like we did last time, just before the video goes live, to have a chat, to introduce ourselves and tell people what we're going to do, etc. But this time we thought that it would be quite fun if any of you have any questions for either of us about what we do, how we do it, where we get things from, you know, our backgrounds, what sort of training we've had, if any, or whatever. Any of you, if you've got any questions, please put them in a comment on one of her videos, one of my videos, or several, if you really want to know something. If you ask it several times, you never know what might happen. So do that. If you would like to have us we thought before the videos we would have a little chat and just talk to you and answer some of your questions. So if you do have any, do please let us know, and then we'll do our best to answer some of them. Okay, so there's another one of my mystery bag cards done. That is clean and simple, but you know, I love it. I just love it. Perhaps I'll put a bit of glue underneath that bit of the tree as well. I think I may do. The top's stuck now, but it's these things please me. Hope they please you, and please come back again soon, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.